Good afternoon, Mr. or Dr. Boileau. Within a few days, we expect we'll have more than 15,000 deaths here in Quebec attributed to COVID-19. Since the beginning of the Omicron wave in December, we've had nearly 3,000 deaths in the province. Why does Quebec continue to have the highest death toll from COVID-19 in the country? And what would you say to people who say that the recent deaths from COVID-19 are sort of being forgotten?
Well, this is an important question. In fact, there are a lot of people that die from COVID, and as you said, about 15,000 people inside the province of Quebec, which is a huge number. But when we look at it very carefully, we observe a few things. First is that since the first wave until recently, with the data that compares the situation of Quebec with other provinces or other jurisdictions, should it be in Europe or in United States, we observed that the surmortalité, so the overrating mortality rate, overmortality rate is lower in Quebec than in other jurisdictions, in Canadians one as North American one. So it's something that needs to be signified. The other thing is that, and this is well known throughout Canada, namely with this Royal Society of Science and other major partners would argue, and this is well known, that the Quebec will calculate the numbers, or I would say we are very sensitive to the number of persons dying from COVID. In fact, probably higher by 40 or 50% than it is really, because the way that we take that we signify the reason of that is different here than in other provinces, namely through COVID situation. In fact, during the beginning of January, we took, if I may remember well, 6 or 8 hospitals inside our Quebec arena, and namely some in Montreal, and we revisited the way the deaths were counted, and at least 30% of them were, after 2 weeks of observation, were signified that they were not caused by COVID. COVID was there, but it was not the main cause of that. I would say like a terminal cancer of pulmonary disease or cancer. If you had COVID, this is not something that is necessarily good, but the person was in the palliative care, so he died from the cancer, not necessarily from COVID. So we have to readjust that. And when we look at those numbers right now, we're never satisfied by the fact there are people that would die from it, but the numbers are not that different from other jurisdiction. And if we wait a couple of months to have those comparisons, I'm quite confident that we will have been, again, the very good ones. And I would like finally just to say that the mortality rate, the lethality rate have dropped since the first wave continuously, and which is the case right now. So the services and the vaccinations and the medical services that they're offering inside our hospitals are very good. So that's why we're observing those lethality rate going down and down and down, which is great.